Welcome to today's video, which is about everything food pantry that I can possibly think about. I also have a son washing dishes, and I'm going to let him do his chores in the background, so you get what you get. This is real life. This is me. I am a mom of 5. I stay at home. This is how life works. So let's start with something very simple, which is how does the mobile food pantry work? So in my area, it works by getting into a car, your own car of course, but some people carpool. I remember that word that was bugging me a couple weeks ago. You can get into a carpool, you go to a designated place, you wait in line, and another part of the mobile food pantry is that they take your name, the number of people in your house, your address, and then that is information for them, because there was a time when people were selling the food on Facebook, and that is obviously against the rules. So they have that information and whatnot. It's another way to do records. So the people that actually receive this food and distribute it, it's kind of like they're being held accountable as well. So there's different things here. And then basically you wait for the food trucks to arrive. They arrive at a certain time, they unload, they separate things out. You drive up, they put food in your car, you drive on. You do not go and you pick and choose. The food that is there is stuff that has been donated by the stores, maybe stores, so you can end up with expired stuff. Sometimes they maybe get like an extra pallet of things that haven't sold, or they have to rotate out inventory. I'm not sure all the ins and outs of that. I just know that usually the stuff that we get is a best buy within a day or two, and it needs to be used up pretty quickly. Food restaurants sometimes donate things. Sam's Club, Costco, Walmart, you have it. I'm not on the working side of it, I'm on the receiving side of it and what I can glean from knowledge. So you go up, you get what you get, and you drive off. Each adult in your vehicle counts as one portion. So if I have 2 adults in the vehicle, it counts as 2 portions, and so on and so forth, and etc. We'll go into that we'll start that aspect now. I get asked, well, why would I choose 2 adult portions? Some days you can get something like 12 bags of grapes for 1 portion. Other days you could get 1 container of blueberries or 1 gallon of milk, and having 2 in your vehicle when you have 5 kids can be beneficial to your family. A lot lately has been multiple items of one thing, like the grapes and the sweet potatoes and the cherry tomatoes and the grape tomatoes and all that. So it doesn't necessarily work for me to maybe have 2 adults in the vehicle. However, you never know what you're going to get. So it just is. There's no way to know. They basically put a number on your window when you're in line, so it's not like I can wait till I get up there and then decide 1 or 2 adults in my vehicle. It's how this particular system in our particular area works. For a while, I personally was going to another one, so we'll get into distance here. The one that I mainly go to, that you guys mainly see every Wednesday, is about 6 miles down the road from me in the next town. In the next town for our area, in the going west instead of north, they have another one there, and that is about a 15-20 minute drive for me. Just depends. The mileage, it doesn't work out the same as the distance because of how things work out here. So sometimes I would do that on a Tuesday. However, with babysitting on a Tuesday, this was the day that I normally had off, but not anymore. I typically don't go to that. It also can take a little bit longer, but it would get like different items. So then you could kind of work with the 2 mobile food pantries, you could kind of work more of a stretching out meals with those two. And I don't do that anymore. However, there is an older couple that volunteered to pick up a box for me. So they have my number that's cooked up to my name, my house, and whatever. They took that number. So since my number is, my name and address and thing is hooked up with my number, they can present my number because that food pantry is one number, one portion. The people in your household is the number of it is. So if you have 2 adults, you still get the one number because both the adults have the same address. Carpooling, share riding is obviously still a thing. And so the lady showed that two addresses, 2 names, 2 addresses, 2 accountabilities. And so they took mine and they were able to get me, sometimes they get me a portion from that mobile food pantry. So that takes care of 2. There's another one south of me. The one south of me is the one that I've just started doing. And that is every other, or I'm sorry, the first and third Wednesdays of the month. It's a food pantry. So it's run by a church. It's, again, 5 minutes away from me. It's run by a church. It works similarly in that you drive your car up, you get out of your car, you walk through a building, and then you take 1 or 2 items depending on your family. This one, you have a little bit more of a say of rejection, like I won't use that, no thank you, whatever. But not a whole lot. It's more of a you choose and you kind of move along. But thankfully there's a portion where you can kind of pick and choose, and then there's a portion where you just get what you get. So those are the 3 food pantries that typically I get something from because of the distance and the county and whatnot. So that covers that. The second one is the people that give us the extra food. The one older couple used to be our next door neighbors. They moved on, and they go to that one that's to the west of me, the one that's on Tuesdays. They live in that town. They will sometimes get me some, but also too, since they live next door, they got to see the kids. They know we homeschool. They are a part of our lives. They have actually invested in us and have really taken, they really love my children, and it's kind of like their adopted grandchildren. So they like to do this just in order to help out our family. The other elder couple that learned about how I share and I get food and then I share it with people in my church. We'll get to that here in a little bit. And they were like, well, some of the stuff we can't use, so we're going to give you our leftovers. So that's how I ended up with leftovers from the 2 other older couples. They both get 2 portions. So that's how we can end up with 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, sometimes it comes with 5 different portions of various things. My sisters moved here in October. I had 2 sisters that moved here in October, and the younger one decided that she wanted to really be helpful and start coming with me so that she could learn how to utilize this food as well for me and my other sister that live. I know this is getting a little complicated, but that they live on their own, and she wanted to find ways to do that. So whatever she doesn't think she can use ends up with me. Okay, so that kind of brings that about. I end up sharing with 4 to 5, right now it dropped down to 4 for a time being, 4 other families from our church. And everybody is also on a tight budget. It's just another way to help them stretch their budget. Obviously what I share will not cover everything, but it helps a little bit more. And so when I get my items, I come home and I separate out everything. I do pull out what I know our family can use. So if we only got 4 packages between all of us of blueberries, I already know my family is going to use up all those blueberries, and so I generally don't tell anybody that I got blueberries. And if they want a piece of that, they are more than welcome to go there if they so choose. However, the reason I offer it is because, again, these are families with young, and you have to sit in line. You could end up being there for up to 2 hours waiting in line, depending on where you ended up in the line. You know, you get there earlier, you get to leave earlier. You get there a little bit later, you get to leave a little bit later. It ends up kind of working out to an hour and a half to 2 hours. So with little ones, that can be hard. And as you can see, sometimes the abundance means that I can do this. And so I give them a list. Okay, I have 5 sweet potatoes up for grabs. If anybody wants more, let me know. I have 12 packages of grapes. Does anybody want grapes? And then they give me a list. And then when I go to church, I'll bring it there and they can take what they need. So that also brings in another thing of, oh, this is not going to last till Sunday because this expired 3 days ago and I can already tell it's on the way out. I won't offer it that to them. So that's why I offer it to them and their families. That's why they don't go there. If I'm already there, why not make that possible for them? It's again, making sure that there's less waste of this food and making sure that I can help them in paying back just a small portion of all this love and support they have given our family. So it's something I can do, and it's something I'm very glad to do. And I basically tell you all that I share with them because I've gotten the comments, well, you get so much food, you know, you're being so selfish. It's not up to me to choose whatever. It's you get what you get. And if the older couple are going there anyways because they keep what they want, there's all that food wasted. They're going to be giving it away anyway, so they give it to me. Okay, let's kind of go on to some of the other things that have been discussed about. Here's another one. I'm being very selfish. When I go to these things, it's really important to have a good relationship with the people that volunteer their time and help get this program going. So I can ask in confidence, hey, is there enough for me to be here? And every single time, you know, every time I'm like, I'll get there and I'm like, wow, I feel like we have an extra row of cars this week. Do you need me to go? Like, I can make work with what I have. And they're like, no, we always have plenty. We always have leftovers. And sometimes somebody has to take it and figure out what to do with it. So at this point, they have not run out or run short. Maybe of one item because that was less donated, but not as a whole with all of the other items. And that's something I have always asked. That's very important to me that, you know, making sure others are getting what they need as well. So there's that. Anybody can take what they want from this. If you're just coming here to watch and judge and comment, that's fine. Just go for it. I mean, if that's, you need something to fill your time, go for it. I will remove comments that I think might end up hurting others, because I have others that watch my channel that struggle with the fact that they use the food pantry and that they need to, and I will remove the comments that I think might be hurtful to them. Blast me all you want. My mom taught me as a kid, she's like, I remember telling her one time, like, my feelings are hurt. She's like, no, you let them get hurt. You can choose how you react to what something is said. Letting it hurt is fine, but your reaction to it later on is up to you. So there's some times when I get, okay. So I'm able to use that. However, you will not hurt somebody else for the decision that they are in. Why are we using food pantries right now? That's another big question. So let's get into that one. There's been a lot of comments lately about the choices my husband is making. Thankfully, he's my husband, my family, not yours. So that makes this a little bit easier, right? He is back to school. He is working part-time. And that is a little bit of a struggle for us right now. He does not mind that I'm doing this because he does not want us to be on government welfare where we are taking tax money from citizens and using it to help our family. That is our personal decision. That is our personal decision. I have made a video where if somebody else does it, that is fine. I'm not over there thinking, well, there's my tax dollars at work. You do what you got to do. But if this is something that is working for us and it doesn't go into that part of us that's just like, we're not ready for this, then why not? There's many times when God has humbled us and we do have to do things that we don't want to do. That maybe then you start questioning, is it really a conviction? But at this point, this is working out well and we're doing it. No, the church does not fund us, but we have also never gone to them and asked. As I pointed out before, we are a very small church and we do what we can with what we have where we are. And we also try not to take from those in the church that we also know struggle and work really hard with what little funds they have. It's just a really hard situation. Not everybody can go to work and make a lot of money. Not everybody can decide to live a higher life. The other big thing about this, and I debated sharing this or not because I'm like, I feel like I'm just giving more ammunition, but it might help somebody out there. My husband is 53 years old. I'm 34. So my husband is almost at the senior discount age. And I'm in the prime of my life. So there is an 18-year. So he is not it's not getting easier for him to work. It's actually getting harder. To the point that he's actually had to take off work because he's thrown his back out. He's in so much pain and he's just getting older. It's just the fact of life. He's worked extremely hard his whole life. He's been in construction. He has been a mechanic. He has been a blacksmith. He has done woodworking. He has worked in not just construction, but like cabinets, cabinetry, and there's like a special terminology for that. He's worked hard his entire life. And it's worn down his body. So he doesn't have the stamina that he once used to do it, and we've already kind of known that he's slowing down. That plays a part into all of this. So even now, as I'm looking at, okay, on paper, we qualify for the food pantry, we qualify for all these things. There is food on our shelves. I'm also thinking about a little bit down the road. I'm also thinking of, okay, the food, I may not be able to use the 2 cans of spaghetti sauce right now that I got from the food pantry, but 8 months down the road, that spaghetti sauce is going to be super helpful. And I kind of think of that as I am preparing all of this food. So in our season of life, the food pantry is very helpful. I'm not having to stress every time I get in my car, go to the grocery store, and with a calculator, add up, subtract, add up some more, subtract, and try to fit it into this minuscule budget. It's helped our budget go a little bit further. It has relieved some of the stress off my shoulders. It's very important to me that I can stay at home and homeschool my children and be there for my children. That is very important to me, and right now I can do that. If anything were to change, then we can discuss this later, but right now it's not. And I think that may help everybody. I will use this as a reference point to my food pantry videos. Moving forward, I don't just want to share the hauls with you. When I started doing that, the goal was to kind of show how to use this food, and I want to get back into that. I did end up having a season where I was going to our food pantry when we lived back in California, and again, having a relationship with somebody that worked there, she could tell me, okay, this is all the stuff that nobody really wants. And I was amazed at some of the stuff there. It took a little bit more work to prepare. It took a little more effort. But she said, it's not convenient food. It's not easy food. Nobody really knows how to work with this. Or maybe doesn't have the resources to work with this. So that's kind of why I wanted to share what I have. And, you know, for those going to food pantries for the first time, it can be overwhelming. Like with me and grapes, or me and sweet potatoes. What do we do with all this? And trying to make it work so that we're not buying a bunch of ingredients, which would defeat the purpose of all this. So I would like to get back into that. I hope this video has been helpful. You're welcome to leave any questions down below. I may use it as another video. I may ignore it. We'll see how this goes. But I hope this has given you a little more insight, and I pray that it is well received. And now I need to go make dinner. I will catch you in the next video. Thank you, and God bless.